We are live in 3, 2, 1.
Please check with your airline for flight status and for rebooking.
Thousands of flights canceled, the snowstorms causing nightmares for travelers.
How to protect your home from this deadly gas that kills more than 400 people every year.
And crew members cheer as NASA's spacecraft finally lands on the surface of Mars. Welcome to Newsline. It's November 27th. I'm Amy Hamilton.
And I'm Danny Hallows. It's anything but a winter wonderland in the Midwest.
A pre-December blast of snowy conditions hits numerous states, resulting in many travel nightmares. John Lawrence reports.
A major winter storm covering parts of the country like a fluffy, albeit frigid, blanket. Sure, it looks nice, but if you're trying to get from point A to point B,
You know, if I get there, I do. If not, well, then brought plenty of things to keep me busy in my briefcase.
inclement weather forced more than 1,600 flights to be canceled Monday, according to FlightAware.com. O'Hare International Airport in Chicago was hit especially hard, with more than 1,300 flights grounded.
And that was canceled, so then I had to hurry and find another flight. So I actually flew out of Reagan in D.C. I found one last flight.
This storm is moving northeast, and more travel headaches are expected over the next few days.
Please check with your airline for flight status and for rebooking.
As the storm moved through Monday, there were winter weather advisories, warnings, and watches from Illinois through New York, affecting more than 18 million Americans. And this storm is also causing problems for travelers on the roads.
They had to pull their plows off, so they could not treat the roads.
But some stranded travelers are making the most of the situation.
The hospitality in Flint is awesome. I have to say, I'm very excited about the fun I had here. Unfortunately, bad memories of the storm, but I'll laugh about it in the coming years.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
A Skyridge High School teacher is in custody for allegedly shooting and killing her ex-husband's girlfriend. Police say 32-year-old Chelsea Cook came to her ex-husband's apartment in Midvale on Sunday night to deliver cold medicine to one of her children. Once in the apartment, she immediately locked herself in the bathroom and called 911. Her ex-husband, Travis Cook, told her to leave, but she refused. When she came out of the bathroom, she pulled a gun out of her coat and fired 5 shots at Lisa Williams, Travis Cook's 26-year-old girlfriend. Williams was hit by at least 2 shots and fell back onto the couch. She died at a local hospital from her injuries.
Another arrest has been made in the killing of South Salt Lake officer David Romrell. The suspect, 43-year-old Jeffrey Don Black, was arrested yesterday after initially being released. Additional evidence was found after Romrell's widows spoke out against Black's release. Police found enough information to believe Black was in the car with 32-year-old Felix Collada, who was behind the wheel when Officer Romrell was hit and killed. Black said he thought that they had hit a mailbox.
The winter season brings an increased risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. Newsline reporter Ashley Hamblin joins us to talk about simple ways to stay safe from this silent killer.
Each year, more than 20,000 people are hospitalized and 400 people die from this gas poisoning. The scariest part about it, most people don't know carbon monoxide is infesting their home until it's too late.
Our friends, one of our neighbors here in the area, lost his son to being killed from carbon monoxide poisoning, and it was such a tragedy story. It happened back east, and he and his wife had gone to bed one night, and the next morning their adult daughter came to visit them, and she found her parents. Her dad had died and her mother was nearly dead, and she saved her mom, but it was because of the carbon monoxide poisoning from their furnace that had been leaking.
Carbon monoxide poisoning does not just come from out-of-control fires. It can come from ordinary household appliances such as furnaces, water heaters, clothes dryers, and non-electric space heaters. Poisoning increases through the winter months because all these appliances are widely used. In the bitter cold of the morning, it is also a temptation to heat up the car in the garage. However, this can get dangerous because carbon monoxide will seep its way into the house, even if the garage door is open. First responders say that this poison is preventable. One simple thing that medical experts suggest is to install a carbon monoxide detector in your home. Installing the device is simple and could very well save your life.
Warning, carbon monoxide. All these years that we've had a home, I've never had a carbon monoxide detector. I've always had smoke alarms, but I never really thought that much about the carbon monoxide detector.
Since the incident with her neighbor's son, Michelle has installed detectors in her home.
Now I can sleep better at night, know that we're safer.
It is suggested that people install carbon monoxide alarms on every level of their home and near every single room where people sleep.
Republican Representative Mia Love gave a concession speech last night following her loss to Democratic Representative-elect Ben McAdams. In her speech, she spoke out against Ben McAdams.
I believe that we've elected a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Love accused McAdams and the media of damaging her reputation and spreading lies about her. She said losing the election unleashed her and that she can now say what she wants. Love also criticized President Trump in her speech.
Real relationships, just convenient transactions.
These words are a direct response to Trump saying, quote, "Mia gave me no love, and she lost." Love also spoke out against the Republican Party, saying Republicans have only transactional relationships with minority voters. She claimed that because Republicans keep themselves at a distance from black voters, those voters are then pushed to the Democratic Party.
A breakthrough in a 9-year cold case. Unified Police Department announced yesterday arrests were made in connection to the homicide of Vietnam War veteran 62-year-old Lester Lloyd Janice. Janice was found robbed and murdered in his apartment in 2009. An autopsy showed he died by strangulation. Police will hold a press conference today to release more information.
BYU has announced plans to demolish and rebuild the faculty office building on the west side of campus. Newsline reporter Hayden Wallace is live in front of that building right now. Hayden, when is this construction likely to begin?
Well, BYU planning begins the demolition of this building in the early stages of next year.
After over a year of planning and proposals, the plans and digitally rendered images of the new building are announced.
It was a little more than a year ago that our department and a few other units on campus started meeting with architects.
The construction is a result of both growing departments and simply upgrading an old building.
We just don't have the space.
The Department of Statistics, which has been located in the James E. Talmadge building since the 60s, will be moving to the new building.
If you walk down the hall right now into our TA labs, you'll see it's just bursting at the seams.
The faculty office building was originally built in 1955.
The faculty office building is an old building, and actually it was not built originally to be a faculty office building.
When it was built, it overlooked the old Cougar Stadium and served as a press box, ticket office, and restroom for the events.
So once they built the new football stadium, they realized, okay, well, we don't need bathrooms and a ticket office here, and they renovated it to be the faculty office building.
There's been a mixed reaction to the changes, with the Department of Statistics particularly positive.
Well, we're excited about the move on a couple of levels. One is that our number of majors has just been growing exponentially.
The new building will feature more space for classrooms and labs, allowing for a more versatile learning experience for students.
So I think that's what I'm most excited about. These new labs are going to provide some flexibility that we haven't had before.
The new building will be called the West View Building and will house 3 departments: the Department of Economics, Statistics, and the Maxwell Institute of Religion, and will most likely be finished by spring of 2020. Reporting for Newsline, I'm Hayden Wallace.
Thanks, Hayden.
A missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints died unexpectedly at the Missionary Training Center in Johannesburg, South Africa. According to a church spokesman, 19-year-old Elder Zane Lamping collapsed on Monday while exercising. He died on Monday at a local hospital. Elder Lamping is from Malapa, Nevada, and he was assigned to the South Africa Johannesburg mission. The cause of his death is still unknown. His family asks for privacy at this time.
Salt Lake County's newest park is coming to Jordan River. Plans for a park along Highway 201 to 4500 South following the Jordan River will begin in spring 2019. The park is being designed to, quote, conserve natural habitat and engage those living in Salt Lake County. Tracy Aviary will also be adding a second location to the proposed park boundaries. Plans for regional parks normally take about 1 year to complete.
A BYU professor has pioneered new research which will change the way doctors treat cancer in the future. Newsline reporter Marin Klein has the story. Marin, how will the treatment change?
The technology that the professor developed means that instead of a cancer patient needing to receive a biopsy, they would only have to have their blood drawn.
Ryan Kelly graduated from BYU with his PhD 13 years ago.
Since then, he worked as a senior research scientist at Pacific Northwest National Laboratory in Washington.
I just recently returned to BYU as an associate professor.
Since returning to BYU, he's continued his research. And what does he study? Protein.
They do a lot of the work in biological systems.
Proteins are often the things that go wrong in a disease, specifically in cancer.
My current research is focused on cancer. We're funded by the National Cancer Institute to extend some of these protein analyses that we've developed down to very, very small samples.
Some cells, such as tumor cells, are so rare that in the past they haven't had enough of them to perform an adequate protein analysis. Normally, a doctor performs a biopsy to check whether or not the treatment is working. Kelly's developed a technology that analyzes the protein of these rare cells once they're removed from whole blood.
If you think about personalized medicine, and and we're not there yet, but what we would eventually like to do is learn not about lung cancer in general or breast cancer in general, but how is that particular patient responding to a therapy, whether it's radiation or chemotherapy.
Now, just a simple blood draw can get those results. This research was published in the latest edition of Analytical Chemistry.
Because this technology is specialized, it's hard to distribute to other laboratories. So Kelly is working with undergraduates here at BYU to solve that problem. They're starting with an inexpensive robotic sampling system, then hacking it and reprogramming it.
Thanks, Marin.
Now that Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday are over, it's time for Giving Tuesday. There are a lot of organizations that promote Giving Tuesday, including the Red Cross and the Humane Society. The Red Cross gives options to donate either to disaster relief, your local community, and then to the California wildfires. But the Humane Society takes your donations and gives the food to animals in need. So get into that holiday spirit by celebrating Giving Tuesday.
A bombing in Afghanistan takes the lives of 3 U.S. service members. Who is taking responsibility for the blast? Next.
NASA's InSight lander makes a historic landing on Mars, what this space mission hopes to accomplish.
And a major winter storm is moving across the country. What it means for us, very neat talk.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana.
How does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So, I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
The Taliban is claiming responsibility for the death of 3 U.S. service members in Afghanistan. The service members were killed Tuesday by an improvised explosive device. 3 other U.S. service members and an American contractor were wounded in the blast. The Taliban has had an increasing presence around Ghazni in recent weeks, so the U.S. has sent more troops to this region. Mexico is taking action in response to the migrant crisis at the border. After U.S. Border Patrol agents fired tear gas at hundreds of migrants attempting to cross the border, Mexico's foreign ministry is asking the U.S. to investigate the incidents that led to this. Border Patrol is defending its actions, saying that some migrants threw rocks at agents, forcing them to respond with force just to protect themselves.
Thousands of people are facing homelessness in California after fires took everything from them. It's been 2 weeks since Monique and Albert Gurley literally ran for their lives from their now decimated home. With their mobile home in ruins, the Gurleys have rented a trailer for now, parked in the lot of a casino. But many others are still in shelters, tents, and motels scattered for miles in every direction. A groundbreaking NASA aircraft landed on Mars Monday.
Touchdown confirmed.
Those at NASA celebrated the long-awaited landing. Spacecraft InSight took nearly 7 months to make it on Mars. The landing required a heat shield to withstand 3,000-degree temperatures. The mission is designed to explore the interior of Mars.
A new edition of BYU's local newspaper is on stands right now, and Camille Baker, editor-in-chief of The Universe, joins us today. So Camille, one of the stories in The Universe is about a BYU graduate's new capstone film. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so recent BYU graduate Howie Burbage created a film titled Gather, which is about a family struggling to survive a Pacific Northwest winter during the 1800s. And the film is a reflection of Howie's experience with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Wow, what a wonderful story. And how is Howie doing now?
He's great. He's in remission.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay, well, that's a great story. Now, another story that you have in the Universe this week is about how BYU students are learning how to deal with people with other religions.
Yeah, so the U.S. has recently seen a surge of anti-Semitic incidents around the country, with anti-Semitic incidents on college campuses nearly doubling last year. 99% of BYU students are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but the remaining 1% are members of other faiths, including Judaism. These students of other faiths said living in Provo, Utah has not been easy, and several of these students interviewed feel that being on the BYU campus had made them more tolerant of those around them. Clubs like the Interfaith Club at BYU are helping to bridge the gap between members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and other faiths.
Okay, well, what a wonderful story again. And thank you so much for joining us, Camille. We love getting all the news from the Universe.
Children with sensory sensitivity will have the opportunity to spend one-on-one time with Quiet Santa before the University Mall opens this year. Newsline reporter Eliza Fellows attended a special event for some special kids last night. Eliza?
1 in 5 Utah children experience sensory sensitivity. Quiet Santa provides an opportunity for them to take part in a holiday tradition without being overwhelmed by the typical crowds and noise.
Kamashai and Taipan Trading are teaming up to help children with special needs. For the 2nd year in a row, these 2 businesses have created a Quiet Santa room in University Place Mall.
It's just a time where those who suffer with autism or other sensory issues can come in just with their family and spend that time that they normally wouldn't get going to other locations to visit Santa.
This is more than just a photo op with St. Nick. Kids can sing Christmas carols with Santa, they have the opportunity to sit on his lap, play with his toys, and have a snowball fight with Santa's magic snow. The visit with Santa doesn't cost anything, and participants can even take their own photos with the jolly old elf. Quiet Santa encourages the child to lead in the interaction, but is also happy to take direction from caregivers on an individual basis.
This year we did 120 time slots, and all of those have filled up, so it is sold out, and due to that success we will most likely do this in future years as well.
When you register for a 20-minute time slot, you are signing up one family. This means you are able to bring your family, not just you and your child.
For registration times and appointments, you can sign up through Eventbrite.
severe winter storm is barreling through a large part of the country, and it's only going to get worse. Right now, more than 10 million people across the Midwest are under a blizzard warning, with some areas seeing more than 10 inches of snow. This video out of Kansas shows the dangerous conditions, so dangerous that the governor issued a state of emergency across the state. So what does that mean for us here in the state of Utah? Well, this is a look at those storms in the next 48 hours. As you can see along the East Coast, plenty of storms coming through. And of course, in Utah, we will see our own winter storms barreling through the state. This is a closer look at that. Along the Wasatch Front, we will see scattered showers on Thursday and then eventually moving into those snowstorms on Friday. And now taking a look at today's temperatures, our highs across the state. Logan's looking great at 42 and Provo at a nice 47. So 40s across the board, and St. George looking at a nice 58 degrees. So it is a little bit warmer, and before we move into our Utah lows, we'll take a look at those now. And as we move into this upcoming storm, we will have the warm before the storm, which is always nice, but then we again head into those winter blizzards. We have 34 in Provo and 35 down in St. George. And taking a look at our southern Utah forecast, it will be nice and cloudy Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we will see showers in our southern Utah regions, but on Saturday it all clears up. And taking a look at our 5-day forecast for northern Utah, we will see rain on Wednesday and Thursday, but like I said, we will see snow on Friday. Those rain showers will quickly turn into a nice little snow flurry, but it will all clear up for Saturday. So if you're planning maybe to head out and ski this weekend, you'll have some nice fresh powder to go ski.
My annual ski day.
We'll be right back.
Glad.
And
what's going on in sports?
A few people are worried
right
BYU won't get a bowl game.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Predictions for BYU's bowl game have started coming in.
In motion. Katoa. First down. Katoa. Touchdown.
The majority of predictions put BYU in Texas for the first responder bowl game, though ESPN had an outlier putting them in the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa. With more teams qualifying this year than there are bowl games, there have been doubts whether BYU would make the cuts. Fans shouldn't worry, though. ESPN tweeted, if BYU is bowl eligible, and of course they are now, BYU is contractually guaranteed to be in an ESPN Events bowl game. Women's volleyball received some good news. They took all the West Coast Conference awards, including Player of the Year, Defender of the Year, Freshman of the Year, and Coach of the Year. 5 members of the team were also named All-WCC. The BYU women's basketball team heads down to Cedar City tonight to play against the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. With only one loss of this season against California, the team is looking good for the game tonight. It will be at 6:30 p.m. The Utah Jazz lost to the Indiana Pacers last night.
2-6, and not only do you lose, but you lose by 33.
Donovan Mitchell was out due to a rib contusion, leaving the Jazz without their offensive star. But the Pacers were also missing their best offensive player. The Jazz have struggled defensively this year, giving up 5 more points on average than last year. With Pacers leading 121-88, this is the second worst loss of the season for the Jazz. They play against the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Kevin Durant scored a season-high 49 points in a comeback win over the Orlando Magic. From dunks to clutch threes, Durant pulled out all the stops as fellow Warriors stars Steph Curry and Draymond Green sat out due to injuries. The Tennessee Titans faced off against the Houston Texans last night for Monday Night Football.
7 technique as they get it complete to Smith. And look at Jonnu Smith inside the 10 and into the end zone.
Titans led in the first quarter 10-7. Texans scored in the second quarter, pulling into the lead and then broke away. The Texans' Lamar Miller ran 97 yards, practically the length of the field, and scored. The Texans scored 17 in the second quarter, 3 in the third, and 7 in the fourth, all while only giving up 7 points. Score ended 34-17. Both teams play Sunday. The New Jersey Devils win against the Florida Panthers last night. The Devils led 2-0, but Florida was quick to tie it up. The third period ended with both teams tied 3-3. In overtime, the Panthers' Mike Hoffman scored to win the game and end the Panthers' losing streak. We'll be right back.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time. Nice.
These are cool. Did you, what did you...
What?
Move over. There's a new champion-sized cow in town. The massive cow is named Knickers, and he lives on a farm in Mylop, Australia, with all his other normal-sized cow friends. Knickers' owners say he's the largest cow in all of Australia. He's 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighs almost 1 ton. Knickers is just 3 inches short from being the biggest cow in the world, a title which is held by another giant steer named Bellino, who lives in Rome.
Wow, I don't know how a cow even gets that big.
Didn't know it was a thing.
I didn't even know it was possible.
Oh, well, thanks for joining us today for Newsline. For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website later.